Okay, so for our first creative critical reflection, I'll be examining how my film A uses or challenges conventions and B represents social groups. So my film is called Cashed, and it's about these two guys who steal drugs from local dealers. Uh, I'd say to start off, there is a criminal element that's in this film that's also in films of the similar genre. There's always a risk factor going into drug dealing and thievery. This is also prevalent in other films such as Pineapple Express. There are also two main characters, another part of Pineapple Express. And the two main characters in most other comedy films always juxtapose one another. One thinks and acts differently than the other one. But in this film, the two main characters also exhibit a difference in their culture and ethnicity. This can be seen in other films such as Kangaroo Jack and 21 Jump Street. Next up, I'd say to represent social groups, we'd look at stoners and drug dealers. So stoners typically make bad choices and do stupid things, which is happening in my film as they're stealing drugs from drug dealers. Now, drug dealers always have this sketchy behavior to them. So when we put them on screen, we have to, put them in sunglasses and have them get aggressive and get angry and protective over their product. So these are just a few of the characteristics. And again, stoners making bad choices, that can go back to a film called Kid Cannabis. And drug dealers, you can see drug dealers in Kid Cannabis, in 21 Jump Street, in This Is the End. A lot of movies in the same genre that have these very stereotypical roles. So in addition, I'd also used genre conventions in my editing and storyboarding. So the montage that I used, where we went through a few different scenes, and that was also covered by a voiceover. That's a typical technique used to connect an actor with an audience very quickly and establish that connection and that backstory. This was also used in Hot Fuzz. It's just a great way to start off a film. One of the ways my film challenges genre conventions, really just through, I'd say, some cinematic camera shots. There was one shot where there was a pipe and it was lit right before a rack focused to the two main characters in the background. I think that's one, and there was another cinematic shot that was at the end of the film where the two main characters are looking down on the drug dealer that they just knocked out and pull their masks up. And I think this is another dramatic shot. So these are just some camera shots, and I'd say just techniques that you don't really typically see in your average comedy stoner film.